あおはようございます。皆さん。こんばんは。こんにちは。Okay. Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening. Yeah, wherever this you are, you have a nice day. It's almost like you were in a call with me. Wow. No kidding. Hi, how's it going? Welcome. Today we're gonna be doing some more Jackson practice that we did this morning. Now when I go through campanas to Japanese Jackson videos, see if there's any more things to get together from there. Right. Yeah, when I go through this little course as well, we'll see what we get from there. I was watching the news and I saw this. You don't mind that. Actually, you cannot see everything that I have open. I will leave what I open. Okay, cool. So. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Should be okay, I believe. Yeah, let's see how this goes, I suppose.
Makasu.
Yeah, so what I don't want to see is I don't want to look at these numbers on the left. So I want to be hiding them with my hand. So, go like this.
つける、つける。任す。任す。
This is heaven, right?
任す。
Yeah, actually, let me write down the guesses on my notebook. And then we can look at those. See how I fare with those. Right.
任す。任す。
Makasu. 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 Yeah, that should be heaven. That's like, cause I think I remember
任
it.
す。任す。任す。任す。任す。
No, so
任す。
hold up.
任す。
Makasu. So 2
任す。
0.
閉める。閉める。
2.
閉める。閉める。閉める。閉める。閉める。
Yeah.
閉める。閉める。
Okay. So let me go back in order. Hold on.
任す。
Makasu.
閉める。
Okay.
任す。任す。
Makasu. That should be Makalaka.
任す。
It should be heaven.
閉める。
Heaven.
閉める。
Hold on.
閉める。閉める。閉める。
Shimeru. So 0 2. Yeah.
閉める。
Shimeru.
閉める。
Shimeru. Okay.
晴れる。
Hareru. 0.
晴れる。
2.
つける。
2. 0.
つける。
So first one I got wrong, second one I got wrong, third one I got right, For what? Okay.
つける
I clearly didn't quite get it, did I?
つけるつけるつける
Well, time to get through the lesson, I guess. If I cannot tell this apart already, I clearly need to train my ear better. So let's go do that.
任す任す任す任す任す任す
Okay.
任す任す任す任す
Makasu, 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 makasu,
任す任す
makasu, makasu,
任す任す
sirutu,
任す任す任す任す
siru,
閉める閉める
shimeru, 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 shimeru. Okay.
閉める閉める
Shimeru, 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 shimeru. Okay.
閉める閉める
Shimeru, shimeru,
閉める閉める閉める閉める閉める閉める
okay.
閉める閉める
This doesn't help. Again.
閉める閉める閉める閉める
Okay, hey, one and then that.
閉める閉める閉める閉める
Yeah. Okay.
任す任す任す任す
Oh, this is exactly what I wanted. Thank you.
待ちませんでした
Yeah, the third doesn't help, but
任す任す任す任す
no, it's one.
任す任すする任す任す熱い
Yeah, Atsui
する
and Suru did not help at all.
任す任す
Makasu, makasu. Okay.
見る
That's, by the way, miru. Miru.
閉める閉める
聞きませんでした
閉める閉める見る閉める閉める
No, that's 0 and 2.
晴れる晴れる
Actually, I think I get it. Let me go back. From here, I believe.
つけるつける
So
つ
from
け
here.
るつける
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go from the bottom this time.
つける
2,
つける
0,
晴れる
two,
晴れる
zero,
閉める
two,
閉める
zero,
任す
zero,
任す
two. Wait. There was always 20, 20, 20, right? So there's no point.
任す任す任す任す
Okay, thinking about it with three different pitches, as the writer said, does help. Let's keep doing a bit more of these.
泳ぎました。
任す任す
待つ。
任す任すつける
So, つける.
はいつける
Oh, this is 平板.
入る
入る. That has to be a
入る
入る. That has to be a 玉
つけ
right?
入る任す任す
Makasu. Makasu. So, 平板 on nakalaka. Cool.
晴れる晴れる
晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる
閉める閉める
閉める閉める
遊びません。しません。
閉める閉める晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる
平板tam nakalaka.
任す任す任す任す任す任す
Uh-huh.
任す任す任す任す
Makasu makasu
閉める閉める閉める閉める
Yup.
任す任す任す任す
Wait. Can I delete?
任す任す
No, yeah, it is this. Nice.
待ちましょ
閉める閉める失う閉める閉める
Those do
閉
not
め
help.
る閉める閉める閉める
There you go.
晴れる晴れる
晴れる晴れる
するする
So, するするするするする Okay.
う。待つ。
閉める閉める
閉める閉める
話しません。見る。
晴れる晴れる
見る。
Let's I believe that is 見る
話しません。
晴れる晴れる
晴れるいや晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる Starting to get a bit rusty
任す任す
of how the pitch changes in a word.
閉める閉める
Much better. So what the author said about how there's 3 levels of pitches, and the third one is for the nucleus, right? The highest pitch is for the nucleus. Does help a lot. So for example, nose would be hana, hana, but flower would be hana, 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 as opposed to hana. It's hana, hana. Interesting. Very interesting. Also, I'm assuming you can hear the examples okay? Did I already do all of these? No.
晴れる晴れる
閉める閉める
Okay.
する
任す任すつける任す任す
Yeah, I'm
閉
starting
め
to.
る閉める
Okay, okay. Okay, I'm.
任す任す
That's it.
晴れる晴れる
That has to be. Nope.
晴れる晴れる
Ah, he went pretty fast, and I wanted to do it in one shot to see if. 晴れる晴れる確かに
閉める閉める
Okay, that has to be. There we go.
晴れる晴れる
Oh, that has to be that.
失う晴れる晴れる
Yeah.
するする
Suru. 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 Right?
晴れるするする
Right. Suru. Suru. Oh my. Okay.
晴れするする
Suru. So it's suru. Then suru. My goodness. Okay, thinking about it on 3 pitches helps immensely. Holy shit. I kept thinking there were 2, but there are 3.
晴れる晴れる
Hareru. Hareru.
失う晴れる失う
And I believe that's Nakadaka. Machina. No, it's actually okay. Yeah, Machina. Yeah, it is heaven.
晴れる晴れる
So somewhere in my mind, I thought this was Nakalaka. I mean Nakalaka, but I was confused because I was hearing heaven. Okay. Trust not from now on. I should trust my ears better more than my memory. Slowly but surely, of course. Slowly but surely.
晴れる晴れる
晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる。あ、はい、確かに。
つけるつける
つけるつける。
晴れる晴れる
Oh
晴
yeah,
れる晴れる
yeah. That is what I heard. I don't know why I changed that.
つけるつける
つけるつける。Wait, hold up.
つけるつける
Yeah.
つけるつけるつけるつける
The audio quality in this first audio kind of throws me off.
つけるつける
It's just like he got really close to say つける
つけるつけるつけるつける
Yeah, this audio quality is awful for つける or つけるつける like つける is fine, but つける is pretty bad.
つけるつける
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 Yeah, well, it's awful.
晴れる晴れる
晴れる晴れる
つけるつける
I know it's too zero because of the awful quality.
任す
寝ません。
つけるつける
It's that one.
任す
Okay.
つけるつける
That one.
晴れる晴れる
That's that one.
行きますつけるつける
This one.
つけるつける
This one.
任す閉めるする
I mean, it can only be one answer because it already tells me it needs to be makasu. And not makasu. Makasu, but makasu. Makasu, makasu. Makasu, makasu. Makasu, makasu. So, but let's identify the others.
任す
Makasu, yeah, this is heiban.
閉める閉める
Shimeru, shimeru.
する
Suru.
任す任す
Makasu. No.
任す
Yeah, it's that one.
寝ませんでした。寝ました。
晴れる晴れる
Hareru, hareru. Hate those.
任す任す任す任す任す
Yeah. Okay.
任す
I should be only listening to my ear and not paying fucking attention to the quiz itself and how janky it is. And that's my fault.
任す
Okay, so
任す
Makasu. That's Heiban. No, I'm Makasu.
任す任す
Makasu. Yeah.
任す
任す。
任す
Yeah, sure.
遊びましょ
任す
う。寝ます。
任す
寝る。
任す
These are the kind of the nakalaka words I wanted to learn, and not more adjectives.
晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れるつけるつける
There has to be 2 and 0.
つけるつける
No, it's just, oh, you're throwing me off. Quality. Jeez. I need to pay attention only to pitch. Only to pitch. Nothing else. Pitch.
つけるつけるつけるつけるつけるつける
Oh my. Okay.
つけるつける
Yeah, it is like some awakening music. You can still hear the audio, right? Of the Japanese voice.
つけるつける
Yeah, probably.
つけるつけるつけるつけるつけるつけるつけるつける
晴れる晴れる晴れる晴れる
Maybe it happened this morning. We got someone posting indecent link. And since you're here often, I thought I would. If you see anything weird, by all means, go ahead.
晴れる晴れる
0 2.
つけるつける
I think this is also 0 2, but let me.
つけるつける
任す
聞きません。遊びましょ
つけるつける
I'm not even gonna bother.
晴れる晴れる
No, that's 0 2 0. 100%.
任す任すつけるつける任す閉めるし任す
Yeah.
任す任す任すつけるつけるつける
Yeah, let me review first the other 2 before clicking on the middle one.
任す任す
There's nakalaka on the hand one.
つける
This feels nakalaka,
つけるつける
and it was.
閉める閉める
閉める閉める
閉める
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 So it's not 閉める but 閉める
閉める
閉める and not 閉める but 閉める not 閉める but 閉める Okay
閉める
that's 閉める
閉める閉める
晴れる
平板 yeah
晴れる晴れる
晴れる
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 泳ぐ
閉める
It's that one
する
and so this is 平板
閉める
つける
Okay
つけるつける
This is 平板 and 中中
切る
This is a 頭中
つけ切る
切る切る right
つけ切る閉める
There's the answer yeah
つけるつけるつける
Yep 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 yep
晴れる
Oh it's that one
するする
するする
来る
来る yeah
晴れる
します
晴れる
It's that one
植える晴れ植える晴れるつけるつける
Nice
任す任す
任す任す So 平板中中
閉める
中中
話しません
閉める寝る寝る
寝る寝る
閉める
閉める Yeah
晴れる
Okay
晴れる
This that one
泳ぎましょ
晴れる
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 No It's this one
晴れる
晴れる
It's just when it's like kind of fast and with a strong voice, hareru, hareru, hareru. It's like, geez, okay. But he's not saying hareru, hareru. He's saying hareru, hareru instead of hareru, hareru. But hareru, hareru. Which you may think it's the same, but there's actually a difference.
うします寝ません
つける
I hate that voice.
つける
But okay,
閉める
this that one.
遊びました来ません
閉める
つける
I think this is Naka.
つける
No. Yeah, it is. It is
Tsukeru.
Naka. Tsukeru. Tsukeru. Like, I got it first time right, but then tsukeru, tsukeru. There's a clear, bigger difference in pitch. Because there is some accent, because it's not heaven.
つける
任す
Heaven.
遊びましょ
つける
Fuck off.
う食べます
切る
Yeah. Kiru. Kiru.
つける
So that should be that one. Tsukeru.
閉める閉める
So, shimeru. Shimeru.
つける
That's this one.
任す
And that's heaven.
つける
Are we done with that one? Let's give it another round, I guess.
閉める閉める
晴れる閉める
閉めるつける来るつける
Heaven.
来る
Tomadaka.
閉める
Nakadaka.
晴れる
閉める
晴れる
しましょう
晴れる
There it is. I was confused. at
Tsukeru.
first. Tsukeru, yeah.
つける
晴れる
閉める晴れる
No, there we go.
つける晴れる
You're not bosom. You're not
任す
heaven.
つける
The correct one.
遊ぶ
Oh, so I saw it.
つける遊ぶ
Oh, heaven. Okay. Nice.
つける
つけるつける
Okay. Cool. I feel like I got a better grasp of that finally. So if I go here,
晴れる
that's Naka. Yeah,
閉める
that's heaven.
つける
Heaven.
任す
Naka. Yeah. Cool. Nice, nice. So we got through that. PA 2, 3, 4, 5 verbs. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this?
食べる
Taberu. Taberu. Taberu.
食べる
覚える
Oboeru. Wait, it's low, high, high, low. Oh. Oh. Oboeru. Oh, right, it is. It's not oboeru, it's oboeru. It's not oboeru, but oboeru. Oboeru. Oboeru.
覚える
Oboeru. Oboeru. 覚える。Okay.
食べる、
覚える、確かめる、
あ、いや、確かめる。確かめる。
確かめる、熱い、覚える、熱い、
What? Oh, so this thick. Okay.
暑い暑い暑い
Yeah, this robotic voice doesn't help.
覚える、熱い、
But this is heaven. So it means thick, not hot.
任す、
That's heaven.
覚える、
Okay.
確かめる、
確かめる、
It's okay, whatever.
食べる、
That one.
暑い、
来ません。
暑い、
食べる、
And of course,
通り過ぎる、
they keep saying atsui for thick and not atsui for hot, which throws me off because I'm much more used to hearing atsui and not atsui. Atsui.
通り過ぎる、
Okay.
"通り過ぎる"
I don't think if I heard this word mid-sentence, I'd be able to tell what the pitch accent is. Actually?
"通り過ぎる"
Actually, I would. Now I can.
確かめる、通り過ぎる、食べる、
That one.
任す、
Heaven.
寝る、
Heaven as well.
任す、食べる、
話しません。
覚える、
しませんでした。
覚える、
Dumb example.
話しましょ
閉める、閉める、
That's not Kataka and Heaven.
確かめる、
Shikame.
通り過ぎる、
Yeah, it's that one.
暑い、
暑い、
暑い、通り過ぎる、
泳ぐ、泳ぐ、
Oyogu.
泳ぐ、
Oyogu.
通り過ぎる、
通り過ぎる。通り過ぎる。
遊びました。
任す、任す、
歌詞。歌詞。So, mark on heaven.
通り過ぎる、確かめる、
Esta one.
寝る、
Heaven.
閉める、閉める、
なかなか。Heaven.
確かめる、泳ぐ、泳ぐ、確かめる、変える、
Okay.
泳ぐ、
I was just double checking I could hear the pitch from those words. Okay.
任す、
Heaven.
出る、
頭だか。
泳ぐ、
なかなか。Yeah, see all the words here? Nope. There's still a couple more.
覚える、
覚える。
確かめる、
確かめる。
食べる、食べる、
いや
通り過ぎる、
通り過ぎる。通り過ぎる。
覚える、
暑い、晴れる、暑い、
So I know this is heaven. This is for thick. I'd say. But what is this?
晴れる、
Oh, that seems.
暑い、晴れる、
It seems nakadaka. But
覚える、
晴れる、
but it goes so fast. Hareru. Hareru.
暑い、晴れる、
No, it's heaven.
覚える、
通り過ぎる、
Because it might be hareru, but it's hareru.
通り過ぎる、
通り過ぎる、
Yeah, it's 5. Yeah, whatever.
泳ぐ、確かめる、
Tashikame. Tashikame.
泳ぐ、
Oyagu. Yep.
食べる、
Yep.
確かめる、
Tashikame.
泳ぐ、
Oyagu.
通り過ぎる、
Yeah, 5.
覚える、
Oboeru. 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 Oe. Oe.
切る、切る、
Kiru. Kiru.
通り過ぎる、
暑い、
通り過ぎる、
Okay, let's keep doing these 3 remaining ones.
言い出す、言い出す、
Idas. idas. Okay. Yeah, again, probably not the best example when su is devoiced, but yeah, sure.
申し込む
Moshikomu. Moshikomu. Moshikomu.
申し込む言い出す
Iidasu.
申し込む
考えつく
考えつく考えつく考えつくく考えつく
考えつく考えつく
考えつく Jeez. Those words are so hard, what the fuck?
申し込む来る
来る
来ました
申し込む
考えつく
Yeah, this is starting to not help. Yep. Let's see the PowerPoint real quick on polite verb conjugations. See how this goes, I suppose. Masen. Masen deshita. So every verb has the exact same pitch accent. Okay. When it's on... That's not what I learned. Mas or masen? Masen. Okay, I'll write this down for now. Asobimasu, tabemasu, torimasu. Oh, it's masamashita. Yeah, it makes sense. Asobimashita, tabemashita, torimashita. Supposedly. And masen deshita in sick. Okay. Masen deshita. Masen. Okay. Asobimasen. Tabemasen. Torimasen. Asobimasen deshita. Tabemasen deshita. Torimasen deshita. Probably. So, masho. Yeah. 遊びましょう。食べましょう。売りましょう。しょう。しょう。Okay. And you stop it. Okay. I go to the extra pitch accent resources. See if there's anything here useful. Theory resources that focus on studying PA, pitch accent through written explanations. 8 dictionaries that include PA information. Okay. Most resources dealing with pitch accent are currently written in Japanese. A free pop-up browser dictionary Rikai-chan. I have Rikai-kun, but like Yami-chan also gives me pitch accent, so it doesn't matter. Okay. English explanation of pitch accent. In Wikipedia, Iwate Learn Lang stuff. Japanese explanations of pitch accent. Sashi Nihongo. Communication. Community. Blog. Ojat verbs. The Japanese apps useful for pitch accent. Lingo cards mean Japanese. Okay. Extensive listening practice. Sonnet. Crunchyroll. Audiobooks. Okay. Nobiki Kase Ehon. So that's for story books. I'll take a screenshot of that and save it for later just in case. We'll see how much of that I use. Okay, the phone was just have useful explanations and info about, yeah. Okay. TUFS language model. How would you rate your resources? I don't know. Also, how I love the chips. Welcome. I don't know. I mean, the most useful thing so far has been Taikim's grammar guide for sure, 100%. Pitch accent resources are very far and few between, as you can see. Dictionaries, most of them are good. What I found, the most useful things so far have been of probably Yomi-chan, the extension that allows me to read kanji anywhere at any point on browser. Any dictionary, Jiso is good. Lorenzo, what is it? Lorenzi's Jisho is probably better. Takoboto also helps. But then the rest is just immersion. There's a lot of resources and none in particular have been like super helpful. It's just a collection of them, I guess. So hello, how's it going? Welcome to Chips. Hope you're doing okay. Let me pull up the thing. But yeah, this resource has not been fantastic in terms of pitch accent, but it does do its job. Okay, I suppose. It did help. Okay, learnings, quick introduction to pitch accent with various examples. Wikipedia, I'm not. Oh, the highlight is the pitch accent recording. Okay, yeah. I guess I will use Wikipedia only for the recording. What the recordings of many common Japanese homophones. The difference between PA 0, 1, and 2. I'll probably use that then. Thank you. Having a collection of resources here is helpful because I'll go through these on my free time. Includes audio CDs written in Japanese, but has a basic translation booklet for English. Okay. Communication tame no Nihongo Hatsuon lesson. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Japanese explanations of pitch accent. Yeah, OGAD verbs is okay. Yeah, okay, this resource compilation is probably the best part out of this lesson, as well as the recordings. So I'll take it. Oh, Nemo Japanese focus on phrases and not individual words. Isn't an audio example enough? It is, and not really. It's good to train your ear at first, but then you need to be able to hear it on actual conversations, in a way, right? Not only that, there are some rules for when there are conjugations and whatnot, where nouns get together. It changes, so I want to get a bit more familiar with those. But yeah, I hope to find more audio examples for this next week or so. I don't plan on spending more than a week or two on this, so I'll go over these resources. But yeah, like the most important thing is audio resources. I don't want to spend here reading through a lot. I want to listen to stuff and be like, did I get it? Did I not get it? And then if I did not get it, okay, what exactly is the difference? This lesson helped me get a bit closer to understanding and being able to properly hear pitch accent. But there are some things that still are hard to grasp, or that I'm not used to hearing just yet. But I'm getting closer. Slowly but surely every day I'm getting closer. I just need to hear it first, because that way once I'm able to properly hear it, I can correct myself. So I need to train my ear so that I can train my voice. Because I have entire streams in which I speak in Japanese for a long time. And I can record myself a lot. But until I cannot properly hear it, it's going to be harder. Listening to my own recordings is not going to help that much. I don't have any input. I don't have any native. I'm sitting in chat saying, hey, you said that wrong. It's not going to happen. Nor do I particularly want that. But yeah, hopefully I can get a bunch of audio examples. Knowing the theory behind that though is a good way of being able to, for example, if I hear something in anime or where I'm doing immersion, right? Well, I am doing immersion, not necessarily from audio examples. by knowing the rules, having a good ear, paying attention, I can tell which pattern it's following, and then so first of all, I hear it. I hear a pattern. I hear a word, and I think it's a pattern. Then I check the dictionary and the rules I know and see if it corresponds. And if it corresponds, cool. If it doesn't, why? Where did my ear go wrong? What did I think I heard, right? And what did I actually hear? But yeah. So this is just a compilation of resources. I don't know what Lingo Cards is. Oh yeah, use it to practice listening by predicting page accent based on audio, then double checking with free online dictionary. Okay, yeah, that's as useful as hearing literally anything else. If I'm gonna have to be double checking with a dictionary, it's as helpful as everything else. So not as effective for pitch accent, then I'm not interested. Also, Takako is from Fukuoka, so she has an accent. Okay, then that's useless. Thank you very much. The long audio can be overwhelming. Just go with the flow and see what pitch accent you can hear. Yeah. That's usually what I do. When I'm doing immersion, sometimes I will stop the video and double check the word I heard and see if I heard it properly. But again, this is just immersion in a way. Extra resources. A Japanese website for peer information for the Kyoto dialect. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I don't think I care too much about these. These are very generic. Be aware that not all Japanese audio recorders are created equal. For example, jobs in radio, news, TV often require special voice training. Yes, I heard of this. That's why I'm listening more to news and radio, because in order for you to present the news and stuff, you have to actually go to a proper university, in which they actually teach you proper pitch accent in Japanese. No, for Japanese natives actually. They make sure that everything they say is properly pronounced and properly said, right? Yeah. Yeah, depending on the birthplace, they may have a dialect. Also, avoid computer-generated audio. Yeah, robotic voices do not help. Yeah, I know. I know how to differentiate the quality in audio. Thank you. Translate Google I didn't intend to use. Yellow PT book up I didn't intend to use. Oh, dictionaries. Yeah, no, I'm happy with my dictionaries. Thank you. No, I'm good. I know how to find my words nowadays. Thank you. Yeah, see, there's a lot more Jackson that you didn't even teach me. It's an introduction. The audios were helpful for the most part, but it took you over 150 hours to make this course? Okay. And I appreciate it. But yeah, okay. So, that's it for that course. I will go back to those resources he or she has listed because they may be useful. Yeah, cool. So this is Campanas Japanese. Uh, this guy explains very well audio stuff regarding Japanese. I found his channel when I was trying to brush up my pronunciation of certain things. But he actually has some videos on Projected. Let me see what he has actually. Also, yeah, my YouTube is Japanese now. Consonants, pronunciation, type, vocabulary, pitch accent. He did not. He did. Yeah, he did one recent accent and compound nouns. He added to this list. Is this the most recent one? Yeah, it is from a week ago. Okay. So let's check out a couple of his videos until, yeah, for now. Let's see how it goes.
What is pitch accent? Or what is accent even? I think most people can tell what accent means, but the word has several definitions, so let's clarify it. According to Cambridge Dictionary, accent means the way in which people in a particular area, country, or social group pronounce words.
Yeah, we're not talking
An
about that
example
accent.
sentence. He has a strong Southern accent or Boston accent.
Yeah, we're not talking about
Yes,
that accent.
I think this is what most people mean by accent. It's almost silent, right?
Yeah.
But this is not what I mean by accent.
Okay.
What I mean by accent is a special emphasis given to a particular syllable in a word.
Okay.
An example sentence. The accent falls on the final syllable. This means what in English? This means stress, right?
Yeah.
For example, Japan. The stress falls on the second syllable. So let's keep in mind, by
Yeah.
accent,
Japan.
I mean something
It's not
like
Japan.
stress
It's Japan.
or not. In English, an accented syllable or stressed syllable is pronounced louder, longer, and higher in pitch.
Yeah.
For example,
Like-
banana. The stress is on the second
Funnily
syllable.
enough, in Japanese it's
So the second
banana.
syllable is pronounced
Banana.
louder, longer, and higher in pitch.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Contrarily to English accent or English stress, accent in Japanese is expressed through pitch alone.
Yep.
Not loudness, not length, just high pitch or low pitch.
Wait,
That's
see the
why
description. What did you write in the description? Oh, so. For pitch accent patterns, depending on words. So it's atama daka, naka daka, odaka, and heiban. Two groups, down step or flat. Yeah, flat, heiban, where there's really no accent. Yep. Strictly speaking, the accented mora is pronounced a little louder, and the length of the accented unaccented moras is roughly the same. Yeah, so it is technically a little bit louder, but that's like a natural phenomenon, really.
Japanese accent is called pitch accent. For example, banana is pronounced banana in Japanese.
Banana.
High, low, low. Mm, mm, mm. Banana. Banana. The accent is on the first syllable. The pitch drops right after the accented syllable.
Mhm.
Banana. Banana.
Yep, completely different.
From this example, you might think the only accented syllable is pronounced higher in pitch, but that's not the case. For example, katakana. The second and third syllables are pronounced higher in pitch, and the first and
Katakana.
the last syllables are lower in pitch.
Yep.
Katakana.
Yeah, I mean, this is an introduction video, so
Katakana.
even though we
Which is the
know this,
accented syllable.
it's fine to review this.
The third one. As I said, after the accented syllable, the pitch always drops.
Yeah, so the accent,
So the reason
As
why
we
you
saw.
identify the accented syllable is not because it is pronounced higher in pitch, but because the pitch drops right after the accented syllable. This is the characteristic of Japanese
Katakana.
pitch accent.
katakana.
There are
Katakana.
a lot of different pitch accent notations,
Yep.
but in my videos, I'll use this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
For example, neko. This shows the accent is on the first syllable, and then the pitch drops after the first syllable.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Neko.
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 In my pitch accent video series, I'll show you pitch accent patterns like this. This is easy to understand, but in my other videos, for example when I create vocabulary videos or something, I won't show this. I'll only use this notation to indicate where the accent is.
Okay.
So I want you to get used to this notation.
Okay.
By the way, I use the word syllable instead of more. From now on, I'll use the word more instead of syllable. You can think of more as something like syllable for now, but if you haven't learned what more is, I strongly recommend you watch this video. The link in the description.
Yeah.
Depending on regions, Japanese has different pitch accent systems.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
example,
But we're not gonna
Tokyo
get into that.
dialect and Kansai dialect have different pitch accent systems.
Yeah.
What we are learning here is a pitch accent system in the Tokyo dialect,
Thank you.
which is known as Standard Japanese.
Yes. Thank you.
Since the Kansai dialect is popular with Japanese learners, especially with advanced learners, I'll probably cover the pitch accent system in the Kansai dialect in the future if there's a demand. But for now, let's focus on the pitch accent system in the Tokyo dialect.
Thank you.
In Standard Japanese, there are two pitch accent rules. 1. The first molar and the second molar always have different pitches.
Yeah. Yep.
For example, banana. The first molar starts high in pitch, so the next molar must be low in pitch.
Writing this down for you,
Nihon.
by the way.
The first molar starts low
Nihon.
in pitch, so the next molar must be high in pitch.
Hold up. I know he's mentioned that sort of thing. When the second mora is an, the smaltsu or long vowels, the first and the second moras sound identical in pitch. Okay.
2. Once the pitch goes down, it never goes back up again within a word. This means there's only one peak within a word.
Yeah.
So this kind of pitch accent pattern doesn't exist.
Yeah.
With these rules in mind, let's learn pitch accent patterns in Standard Japanese.
Okay, thank
There
you.
are 4 different pitch accent patterns in Standard Japanese. 1. Head high pattern.
頭高。
2. Middle high pattern. 3. Tail high pattern. 4.
高く。
Flat pattern.
小高く。
Depending on whether a word has an accent or not, I know, there are actually words with no accent. Anyway, depending on whether a word has an accent or not, we can categorize these patterns into two groups: downstep type and flat type. Downstep type words have an accent. That means the pitch follows after the accented molar. Flat type words have no accent. That means the pitch doesn't fall within the word or at the next particle. Let's take a look at these patterns one by one.
Okay, let's see these
The
examples.
first one is the head-high pattern.
頭高
The first molar starts high in pitch. Following the rule number 1, the pitch drops after the first molar. This means the head-high pattern words have an accent on the first molar. Following the rule number 2, the rest of molars stay low in pitch.
Banana. Yep.
For example, banana. The pattern for this word is head-high. Banana. Banana.
Okay.
The second one is the middle-high pattern.
Nakataka.
The first molar starts low in pitch.
Sakabichi.
Following the rule number 1, the pitch goes up after the first molar. The pitch stays high till the accented molar and it goes down. Following the rule number 2, the rest of molars stay low in pitch. For example, sakamichi. The pattern for this
Sakamichi.
word is middle high.
Okay.
Sakamichi. Sakamichi. The third one
Sakamichi.
is the tail high pattern.
Sakabichi. Odaka.
The first molar starts low in
Oh,
pitch.
imoto to.
Following the rule number 1, the
Okay.
pitch goes up after the first molar. The pitch stays high till the accented molar. In this pattern, the accent is on the last molar. So when a particle is attached, the pitch goes down before the particle. For example, imoto. The pattern for this word
Imoto.
is tail high. So the
Imoto.
accent is on the last molar.
Imoto to.
As I said, when the particle is attached, the pitch drops
Okay.
after the last molar. Imoto to.
Imoto to.
Imoto to.
Imoto to. Imoto to.
The last one is the flat
Imoto to.
pattern.
Heaven.
The first molar
Tomodachi
is low
to.
in pitch.
Tomodachi to.
Following the rule number 1,
Imoto
the
to.
pitch goes up
Tomodachi to.
after the first molar and stays high till the accented molar. But the flat pattern words don't have an accent. So the rest of molars stay high in pitch, including the particle after the word.
Yeah, so
That's
flat.
the difference between the tail
Tomodachi
high
to.
pattern and the flat pattern.
Tomodachi to. Imoto
For
to.
example,
Tomodachi
tomodachi.
to.
The pattern for this word is flat. So this word has no accent. Even when the particle is attached, the pitch doesn't fall. Here's the comparison.
Okay. Okay.
妹と友達と
Yeah.
妹
Okay.
と友達と
Imoto
For
to.
beginners, it might be
友達と
difficult to perceive the difference in
友達と
pitch because it's subtle. So let's do a listening practice with homophone to get used to it. Pitch accent works as a way to distinguish between homophones.
Okay.
Mm-mm,
Ame.
mm-mm,
Ame.
ame,
Ame.
ame,
ね。
うんうん。
今、
うんうん。
今、
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 今。
今。なんか
うんうん。
日本、
うんうん。
日本、
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 日本。
日本。
うんうん
箸で、
うん。うんうんうん。
箸で、
うんうんうん。
箸で、
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 箸で。
箸で。Okay.
After all the explanations I did, I want to address this question. Do you have to memorize the correct pitch accent pattern for every single Japanese word? This seems like a hot topic in the Japanese learning community. I mean, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. But I would say, yeah, as many as possible.
Okay.
Because when you look up a word in a dictionary, don't you check the pronunciation along with the meaning of a word or example sentence? I do when I look up English words. Even if you're not familiar with IPA or stress markers, don't you at least listen to the audio pronunciation?
Ultra-crepidarian.
Same thing
Ultra-crepidarian?
with
Excuse
Japanese
me, what?
pitch accent. Memorizing the correct pitch accent patterns doesn't mean you can tell. Like for example, you can tell the pitch accent pattern for the word Nihon is the middle high pattern or Nakadaka pattern. It doesn't mean that. Memorizing the correct pitch accent patterns means you can correctly pronounce Japanese words. The goal is not to familiarize yourself with some linguistics terminologies, but the goal is to pronounce Japanese words correctly.
Yes.
With that said, I'll tell you why learning pitch accent is beneficial. The first reason. When you look up Japanese verbs or adjectives in a dictionary, what you get is something called the dictionary form. For example,
Yes.
iku. This verb is the heiban type, the flat
Iku.
type.
Iku.
What about all the conjugation forms like ikimasu, ikimashita,
Yeah, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Follow arigatou gozaimasu. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Yeah, right now we're studying some pitch accent. So sorry. Anyway, I'll keep playing the video. Sorry.
行って行かない行けば行こう行ける Do you have to memorize the pitch accent something called the dictionary form? For example, 行く This verb is the heiban type, the flat type. What about all the conjugation forms like 行きます行きました行って行かない行けば行こう行ける Do you have to memorize the pitch accent patterns for all the conjugation forms of all verbs?
No.
No. Once you memorize the pitch accent patterns for the conjugation forms of a flat type verb, you can
You'll be
apply
able
the
to-
patterns to all the other flat type verbs.
Yes, that's
For
what I
example,
want.
買う
Thank you.
買います買いました買って買わない買えば買おう買える The pitch
Yep.
accent patterns for both conjugation forms are the same. The same thing goes for the downstep type verbs as well, with few exceptions.
A few exceptions.
This will
So
save
no.
you time and effort. That's the first reason why you learn pitch accent. The other reason. If you learn pitch accent, you will have a better understanding of intonation.
Intonation.
Read this sentence out loud and record yourself if you can.
Okay, should we do it? Should we do it? Okay, let's do it. Where's my phone? Recording. Where is it? Nihon no daigaku de utsuri o benkyou shite imasu. I hate hearing myself. Sure. Let's see what else he has to say.
Now, compare your intonation to my intonation. 日本の大学で物理を勉強しています。日本の大学で物理を勉強しています。
Butsuri. Wait. Okay, now Butsuri kind of bothers me. Butsuri. 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 Jeez, okay.
How did it go? For those who couldn't read the sentence quite like how I did, the intonation curve for this sentence is like this. To understand why the intonation...
So, okay. 日本語の大学で物理を勉強しています。Okay, so I knew that Nihon no keeps right that way, and it was a solid guess, or just simply because of my stop. Daigaku de is also heaven. Then knowing that Butsuri is a tamadaka, Butsuri o, it goes down. I didn't know if it would go up again for Benkyo Steimas. It depends, I guess, on the pauses and inflections one would do, right? Again, because I cannot read that sentence that fast. Like, that's not.
intonation goes up and down like this, you will need a knowledge of pitch accent.
¿Te puedo enseñar japonés? Pues yo no. Te puedo ayudar, porque estoy en la misma situación, pero enseñar así tal cual no es fácil, no. Te puedo ayudar, te puedo indicar por dónde ir los recursos así más básicos, por dónde empezar, porque yo estuve ahí, pero enseñar no. Bienvenido Jorge.
Although I recommend shadowing practice to acquire natural Japanese intonation, learning the theory of Japanese intonation certainly helps.
Que te ayude con algo básico. Puedes empezar. Mira. En mi Discord tengo un puñado de recursos almacenados. Te puedo pasar otro Discord donde hay buenos recursos. Donde. ¿Quién se lo mandé? So if you go. Si vas a su canal. Español, inglés, estoy aprendiendo japonés. Si vas a su canal, tiene un Discord abajo. Ella también tiene un montón de recursos. Lo que sé que están todos en inglés, la gran mayoría. Así que si no vas a saber inglés, aprender japonés está complicado. Lo que te puedo decir por ahora es: aprende hiragana, aprende katakana, ponle ganas. Y si quieres seguir viendo anime, mira un montón de anime, que eso ayuda.
To understand the theory of why the intonation goes up and down like this, you will need a knowledge of pitch accent. Although I recommend shadowing practice to acquire natural Japanese intonation, learning the theory of Japanese intonation certainly helps.
Yes.
To understand the theory of Japanese intonation, you need to learn pitch accent. That's the other reason why you learn pitch accent, in my opinion.
That's why I'm here. I want that theory, please.
Lastly, let me introduce you to 3 dictionaries for Japanese pitch accent. The first one is Wiktionary.
I don't want to use Wiktionary. Do I have to?
This is great. You can not only check a pitch accent pattern,
I
but
empezará
also
bien.
check IPA with the audio pronunciation.
Nihon.
Oh, wait, that sounds like a much better pronunciation help than this robotic voice. So much more helpful than... Nihongo. Arigato. Let's look up, for example, where I was lied to. Where is it? Oh, he put it in his. Oh, he did. He did. Well, he put a lot of stuff down here. Actually. He's putting some videos. Okay. Oh, here it is. Dictionary. Let's bookmark that through real quick. And let's look up something like. Is there no recording? Where are the recordings I was promised? Oh, here it is. No, but that's Chinese. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. Okay. Well, I'll look into these resources later. On my own time.
The next one is OJAD.
Oh yes.
This is also great, but the UI design is not up to date.
Yeah. Yes.
This dictionary shows all the conjugation forms with the audio pronunciation.
The audio doesn't always play though. That's the problem I found with this diction.
The last one is the Japanese language pronunciation and accent dictionary. This is awesome. I have an iPhone app version. It's easy to use, it's easy to search, it shows conjugation forms with the audio pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
But this one cost $55 in Japan. And I don't even know if the app version of this dictionary is available outside Japan.
$55? Are you kidding me?
There's a paperback as well. But the paperback version of this dictionary is not for beginners. For intermediate to advanced learners, choosing a paperback is an option. It is available at least in the US. I'll put all the links in the description.
Which he did.
Alright, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. I'll see you
I
in the
guess
next video.
I'm not subscribed on this account. I'm subscribed on other accounts because I want this account to be exclusive for immersion and exclusive in Japanese. I already like the video on my other accounts. I don't want to get this account too mixed up with English stuff, so that I want only Japanese recommendations. And this, actually, I should probably change channel then. Why not? Yeah, there we go. How about like my dude?
This video is a continuation of Introduction to Japanese Pitch Accent. So if you haven't watched it yet, please check out the video first.
Let's keep
The
taking some
link in the
bets.
description.
Here comes the boring part of learning pitch accent. Pitch accent and verb conjugation. The topic I cover in this video is boring. I mean, very boring. So it is not covered by many people. But let me do this because it's my duty to create a video that nobody watches.
Thank you. I really
To correctly
appreciate it.
pronounce a Japanese word, you have to memorize which mora is accented, right? It's nothing special. The reason I say Japan instead of Japan is because I memorized the accented syllable or stressed syllable.
Yeah, it's just knowing how to say the goddamn word.
When
Really.
you memorize which mora is accented, nouns can be relatively tricky because the
Much like in
accent can
English.
fall on any mora. For 4 mora nouns, the accent can fall on the first mora, or the second mora, or the third mora, or the last more, or no accent.
Not at all.
There are tendencies, so we can say
It's
like,
hot.
there are fewer
Cold.
tell-high pattern nouns. But when it comes to nouns,
Ototoi.
we just have to memorize which more is
Ototo.
accented word by word.
日本語
The same thing goes for not adjectives. The good news is there's a rule for verbs and adjectives, so you don't need as much effort to memorize them. So in this video, let's learn the rule for verbs.
Okay.
As I mentioned in Introduction to Japanese Pitch accent patterns are categorized into two groups, downstep type and the flat type.
Okay.
In the downstep type group, there are three different patterns. But for verbs, you don't have to worry about these patterns because in the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the second to the last more. For example, kuru, taberu, atsumaru. All of these verbs are downstep type verbs, so the accent falls on the second to the last more.
Okay, so for those step verbs, I'm taking notes. Hold up. Accent always second to last. So they were either flat or second to last. Which, okay, yeah, makes sense.
In the flat type verbs, there's no accent. In the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the second to the last more. Unlike nouns or not adjectives, what you have to identify is if a verb is a downstep type or a flat type.
Yeah, okay.
But there are some verbs in which the accent falls on the third to the last more, like kaeru, toru, hairu. But these are exceptions, so basically it's safe to say in the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the second to the last more.
Okay, so let me write these examples real quick. Just so. So sometimes third to last exceptions, right? Would be kaeru, toru, and hairu. So to return home, right? Go past. Then to enter, okay. Right. The thing is, he says there are exceptions, but hairu and kaeru are some very, very common everyday verbs.
Basically, it's safe to say in the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the second to the last more. By the way, this categorization has nothing to do with three groups of verbs some of you have probably learned already.
Yes.
For example, do verbs can be a downstep type or flat type.
Okay.
Once you identify whether a verb is a downstep type or a flat type in the dictionary form, you can tell where the accent falls when a verb conjugates and it turns into different forms. So let's learn about which more is accented when a verb turns into different forms for downstep type verbs and the flat type verbs, respectively.
So I believe, so I know I watched this in the past, and I believe I made a small cheat sheet. Let me look it up real quick. I should have it around here somewhere. I found it. Yeah, so I made this cheat sheet out of screenshots of his videos. You cannot see it very well, but it says it divides downstep verbs and flat type verbs. Oh jeez.
First, let's take a look at the mass form.
I
In
did
the
not.
mass form, the accent falls on the same molar for both downstep type verbs and the flat type verbs. In the present tense affirmative and the past tense affirmative, the accent falls on ma. In the present tense negative and the past tense negative, the accent falls on se. For example, a downstep type verb, kaku, turns into kakimasu, kakimashita, kakimasen, kakimasen deshita. As I said, in the present tense affirmative and the past tense affirmative, the accent falls on ma. Kakimasu, kakimashita. In the
Okay, so
present
they're the
tense
same.
negative and the past tense negative, the accent falls on se.
We saw this earlier though.
書きませんでした。A flat type verb 行く turns into 行きます、行きました、行きません、行きませんでした。In the present tense affirmative and the past
This is
tense
actually very
affirmative,
important because
accent
this is probably the form
falls
we'll
on
be using the most.
行きます、行きました。
行きませんでした。
In the present tense
行きません。
negative and the
行きません。
past tense
行き
negative,
ませんでした
the。accent falls on せ。
ます。ました。
行きません、行きませんでした。Next, let's take a look at the te and the ta forms. In the te and the ta forms, the accent falls on the same molar, but unlike the mass form, the accented molar differs between the downstep type and the flat type. In the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the third to the last molar. For example, a downstep type verb, kaku, turns into kaite and kaita. So the accent falls on ka. Kaite, kaita. If a downstep type verb has two molars when it turns into the te or ta form, the accent falls on the molar before te or ta. For example, a downstep type verb, miru, turns into mite or mita. In both forms, this verb has two molars, so the accent falls on mi.
So wait, hold up. Let's go through that again. I wanna make sure I got this properly.
Next, let's take a look at the te and the ta forms. In the te and the ta forms, the accent falls on the same molar, but unlike the mass form, the accented molar differs between the downstep type and the flat type. In the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the third to the last molar.
Okay.
For example, a downstep type verb, kaku, turns into kaite and kaita. So the accent falls on ka. Kaite, kaita.
Okay.
If a downstep type verb has two molars when it turns into the te or ta form, the accent falls on the molar before te or ta. For example, a downstep type verb, miru, turns into mite or mita. In both forms, this verb has two molars, so the accent falls on mi. Mite, mita.
Okay.
The verbs in which the accent falls on the third to the last molar in the dictionary form. In these verbs, I mentioned earlier as exceptions, the accent falls on the fourth to the last molar. For example, kaeru turns into kaette and kaetta, so the accent falls on ka. Kaette, kaetta.
Okay. Kaite.
In the flat type verbs, even if they turn into the te or ta form, they have no accent. For example, a flat type verb, iku, turns into itte or itta. Like the dictionary form, there's no accent. Itte, itta.
Okay.
Next,
Okay, let me. So we have the massive form, the delta form, and then we have negative form. I'll take proper notes of this later on. Some notes that I can properly review, but for now I do want to get the basics of this.
Form. In the negative form, the accented more also differs between the downstep type and the flat type. In the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the more before na. For example, kaku turns into kakanai, so the accent falls on the second ka. Kakanai.
Okay.
In the flat type verbs, even if they turn into the negative form, they have no accent. For example, iku turns into ikanai. Like the dictionary form, there's no accent. Ikanai. Next, let's take a look at
volitional.
the volitional form.
Okay.
In the volitional form, the accent falls on the same more for both downstep type verbs and the flat type verbs. In the volitional form, kaku turns into kako, iku turns into iko, and the accent falls on the more before u. Kako, iko. Next, imperative form.
And what about masho? What about that? Kimasho. Oh! I'm guessing at that point you just consider must. So, it'd be ikimashou. 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 So you drop it right before the u is still. For masho. Okay.
Imperative form, the accented more differs between the downstep type and the flat type.
Do we need to know the
In downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the more before the last one. For example, kaku turns into kake, so the accent falls on ka. Kake. The verbs in which the accent falls on the third to the last more in the dictionary form. In these verbs, the accent falls on the third to the last more. For example, kaeru turns into kaere. So the accent falls on ka.
Okay.
Kaere.
Kaere.
In the flat type verbs, even if they turn into the imperative form, they have no accent. For example, iku turns into ike. Like the dictionary
Iku,
form,
ike.
there's no accent.
Yeah.
Ike.
If anything, they get an accent from the way you say it because it's an imperative verb.
Next, conditional form. In the conditional form, the accented more differs between the downstep type and the flat type. In the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the third to the last more. For example, kaku turns into kakeba, so the accent falls on ka. Kakeba.
Okay.
The verbs in which the accent falls on the third to the last more in the dictionary form. In these verbs, the accent falls on the fourth to the last more.
Fourth to last.
For
Okay.
example, kaeru turns into kaereba, so the accent falls on ka. Kaereba.
Okay. Kaereba.
In the flat type
Kaereba.
verbs, the accent
Kaereba.
falls on the more before
Kaereba.
ba.
Kaereba.
For example, iku turns into ikeba, so the accent falls on ke. Ikeba. Next, potential, causative, and the passive forms.
It really is
In these three
covering all
forms,
conjugations.
the accent falls on the same more, but the accented more differs between the downstep type and the flat type. In the downstep type verbs, the accent falls on the more before ru. For example, kaku turns into kakeru in the potential form, kakaseru in the causative form, and and kakareru in the passive form. The accent falls on the more before ru. Kakeru, kakaseru, kakareru. In the flat type verbs, even if they turn into these three forms, they have no accent.
Okay, flat
For
state
example,
and flat.
iku turns into ikeru in the potential form, ikaseru in the causative form, and ikareru in the passive form. Ikeru, ikaseru, ikareru.
Okay.
Here's the summary.
This is what I have printed. Yeah. Again, super helpful. There's a couple of more for adjectives, which should be useful. It's kind of weird because for those there's like two different types. Then there's the one for compound nouns. That's the rule I'm really interested in, because basically the way it goes, even if you have, say, a tamadaka verb and then followed by a flat verb, and then when you combine it, even if the first one it's a tamadaka and like the pitch goes down, it will change to go gain the pitch back up and then going down, and making it like the compound noun becomes like odaka. That's my like basic understanding of it. So I do wanna do that. Also, when it comes to pitch accent, there's just like this one quote unquote rule that applies to like a lot of things that Dogen teaches, taught in one of his videos, that you have a, I believe it was a na adjective with 2 kanji on 4 mora, say kantan, it's usually going to be heiwan. And there's like a lot of examples for that. So yeah, I'll look into the adjectives this tomorrow, as well as taking some notes on tomorrow morning stream. I unfortunately are gonna have to call this stream a day here today. I think some things to do, but I streamed twice today. Okay, we'll keep looking into pitch accent until I'm satisfied. I probably keep looking up a lot at the theory for, like, again, I said, this week or so. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep even looking at it after this weekend. We'll see what I do next week. And then it's just gonna be a matter of listening a lot, listening. Like I'm very aware of pitch accent nowadays, and I'm trying to hear it. It's just I need to fine tune my ears, and it's still hard to do so. But yeah, with that said, let me 今日の配信を終わりたいと思います。I wanna end the stream for today. Call it a day. 見に来てくれてありがとうございます。お疲れ様でした皆さん。Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Yeah. Have a good one. I'm just gonna end the stream right here, right now. No host or anything. Bye bye.